Morning all. Oh, day 10. Now, this is where I think we're going to start getting to the stage where the box is going to sort of need a lot of maintenance. This was what I'd managed to repair yesterday, odd little bits, because, you know, day 10. Oh, come on, you fucker. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. That's good, we got it. Right. It's gonna go, isn't it? It's gonna go. Oh. I've really split the box here. Oh, now this is the coach. Now I have been following the story of this because I've never really done one. So it's not beer. Right, you can go straight into the fridge for later. You alright with that, pup? Yeah, come on in. We're back in our favourite place. Well, our favourite local walk anyway. It's only just gone 2 o'clock and it seems to have been a very long day. As some of you will know, one of the things that I kind of offer some of the patients the opportunity to do, it's kind of like just do a recorded sort of conversation where they can say some of the things perhaps in the recording that they may not necessarily want to say in person to their family and friends. Shout out to Stu, by the way, for helping to make that process a whole lot easier. And there's sometimes, as people will know, most of the patients I work with haven't really got a huge amount of time left, and this particular one today was worried that they probably won't get to see Christmas, and the reality is, in every likelihood, they probably won't. At one point I didn't know whether they'd make it to the end of the conversation, but it's amazing some of the things that people come out with. Most notably, when people say I shouldn't really complain, there's people worse off than me. And I don't do tea and sympathy, as anybody who knows me will attest. And I just said that's nonsense. There's not many people who are in a worse off state than you. It's all right, you can acknowledge it, and it's good sometimes to sometimes just be completely blunt. And we ended up having a really good conversation about a lot of things that this person feared would happen, and they're in a position now, and it seems like the 11th hour, they're in a position now to actually do something about that stuff, you know, to do with what you want family and friends to know. So the two things that I've taken away from that, the first is obviously carry on not doing tea and sympathy. Tea and sympathy is all right for those who do it and want it and whatever. Not my style, sadly, or perhaps not sadly. And the other thing was that whole thing about there's always someone worse off than me. And okay, I guess you could say that most of us can actually say that, but it's irrelevant. If there's something affecting you or me, one of your friends, family, someone you work with, whatever that thing is, in the grand scheme of things, it is just as important as someone who might only have hours to live. And the reason for that is the only way we can ever be of any real benefit to another person is if we put ourselves first. And there's that thing when you fly, the safety talk they give at the beginning, about how to put your life jacket on, when the little air things drop down, put your own mask on first before doing your kids. It's all about protecting yourself in order to be of benefit to another. And the other part of that, what are you doing? Hey, go on in. The other part of that is we always put ourselves last. Come on in. We will always, and this is especially true for parents, you always put kids first. It's just what you do. But in order to be of any use to them, you've got to kind of look after yourself a bit. And we don't, do we? Very seldom do we actually say, no, this is my time, I'm taking this for me. Very seldom do we say, I'm doing a complete breakaway from everybody else's needs, and today is my day. We don't do it. And the reason for that is we've always been taught that that's selfish. Well, hard luck. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation, it's self-protection. Because a lot of the Americans who do this sort of like inspirational talking will call it self-love. I think we've probably got a slightly different understanding of that term. But how did I get there so quickly? But it's true that we need to give ourselves some of those breaks that we always afford to other people. And when we have friends or family or people we work with, or even ourselves, when we have issues to face up to, whatever it is, whether it's just feeling really shit today, or whether it's an episode of clinical depression that's coming on, or whether you've just been told that you've got cancer, it's all a part of learning to come to terms with the reality of who we are. And the important thing I try to pass on from that, I do love this place, is that it's okay to say it's not fair. And the reason it's okay to say it's not fair is because it's not fucking fair. And it doesn't matter whether you've just been told you've got terminal cancer or whether you're just feeling really, really down on that particular day. And for people who do have episodes of quite crippling depression, the way that will often materialise is through what we always call sort of like crash or retreat. So we will just dive into our own, often bed, and not want to see the world. The other side of that is that, you know, we'll exhibit some quite antisocial behaviour, screamy, shouty, smashy uppy things. And that again, it's a kind of natural part of the way that materialises itself. Anyway, that is kind of this, and this has all been kind of like from this recorded conversation earlier. It's important to be important to yourself. Rate yourself. It's far too easy to run ourselves down for not doing this or not having said that. And it's far too easy to put our own needs on the back burner. Well, do you know what? Don't. Anyway, that's rambled on a little bit. Sorry about that. It's quite that was quite a massive impact that conversation had on me earlier. Nearly 2 hours, which tends to be about the standard. but a very intense 2 hours. The other thing I'm going to do today, whilst walking Marley around, is listen to an audio book. And I'm listening to the audio book of this book. It's worth buying simply for the author's name, Randy Mosher. Sorry, I bet he's really sick of that. This is, at the moment, I think, my favourite book about beer. Not really recipes or anything else, but this is, I'll just give you a quick rundown of the chapters, and I'm on my third listen, because you know sometimes you're listening to something, you get distracted. This book is a history lesson, it's a laugh, it's an encyclopedia, it's an how-to, and it's a why. Everything about beer is covered in this most amazing of all books. It goes right from the type of glass you should use, the type of could use. It goes into the history of brewing. It goes into all the developments of the standard brewing tree, all the forks. So, you know, specifically interesting stuff like lambics, whatever. This is, I cannot recommend this book highly enough. But look, I've opened it probably once or twice. I listened to it. Now, the problem with audiobooks very often is that they'll have really nice, and this is so beautifully illustrated in so many kind of thoughtful ways, and just with lovely charts and graphics, and everything about this has been so beautifully put together with such an amount of thought that you would think the audio book version would not really convey some of the stuff. I flicked through some of the visual graphics and graphs, etc. But it does convey absolutely everything beautifully. I realised earlier. Boom. Oh, hang on. Let's just see if we can get back to. No, I'm not very good flicking through. Oh, there we go. So, you know, you would think, how do you actually represent that in audio? Well, listen to it and see. It is stunning. Very rare do you come across a book that has pretty much ticked every box. I love the historical perspectives that he brings in. I love the way he says, you know, tasting is kind of like a very personal thing. And he does go into things like BJCP and Cicerone, but that's not the point of this book. The point of this book, but you know, if you're going to do Cicerone or BJCP, you really have to read this. But you will enjoy this book if you enjoy just the beauty of beer. And he finishes with a lovely piece about craft brewing, and it's just, what can I say? Apart from, I need books like this sometimes to escape from the other stuff, if that makes any degree of sense. Because now I'm going to have to go at some point, go through and listen to the conversation that I did earlier. So this is an escape. If you buy this book and you don't like it, I'll buy you a pint, or make you a pint, or give you a pint, or whatever. I love it. That's all. Now I'm going to have a drink. Oh, been waiting for this all day. We need to do that thing. Get it in the glass and then have this like that, so that I can put the little Christmas tree over here. Yeah. Would you look at that? Now this is a sort of, there's two different types of yeast, bottom feeding and top feeding. Oh, I couldn't even get there. Some that sit on the bottom and some... Fuck it, go Google it if you want to know. Fuck it. This is a Kolsch, and I can't tell you anymore because I will just I'll corpse it. Right, let's give it a taste. Look at that, and that beautiful colour. And considering it's in a can that hasn't really had a chance to settle, I put it in the fridge this morning. It's not unclear. Right, good. Here we go. Oh, that's got that. Almost feel like I'm in Germany on a nice summer's day with a really beautiful girl. She was blonde and had those, I don't know what they're called, like pigtails on each side of her head, you know, sort of like one coming out here, one coming out here. Lovely. Very traditional. It would have been if she was wearing any clothes, but that was a long time ago, boys and girls. Look at that little colour that is cast over here. That's lovely. Oh, what a day. And what a way to finish a day, thinking about a beautiful blonde with no clothes on. And the thing about, you know, with those pigtails, not pigtails, side tails, come on, gives you something to hang on to when, never mind. Harry Brewer 69, Mr. Harrison Hawks, sir. Yes, obviously another winner. Everybody else, if you like this crap, the video, not the beer. I had to stipulate that yesterday in case I upset anyone. And if you get this, if you like this, if you get this, give me a thumbs up below. If you've not subscribed to the channel, why not? Come on. And if you do, then click the little bell and then the darker bell with the sort of like vibration signals next to it. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Apart from, do you like it's right anyway. Stay safe, boys and girls. Tomorrow's Friday.